At last check, the 2020 census was sending out mailers and reminders to submit your information. Well, about half of the Lowcountry's households have complied, which means money for schools, healthcare, and senior programs rely on your participation. Here with information on how to avoid getting a knock at the door is Marilyn Stevens. She's Assistant Regional Census Manager for the U.S. Census Bureau. It's good to see you.
Good morning. How are you today?
Doing just fine, thank you. So, yeah, I received my card. I received many reminders actually in the mail to make sure to enter all of my information to be added to the U.S. Census. But I know that a lot of people were also counting on some of those jobs that required us to knock on doors to get information. So what has the update been so far?
Well, we're still encouraging people to self-respond, because that is the primary way that we conduct the census in the 21st century. We want people to respond online at 2020census.gov, or they can respond by phone and talk with a representative at 1-844-330-2020. Or if you want to do it, as one young person told me, old school way, the paper questionnaire we sent to you, you can fill it out, put it in the enclosed envelope, mail it back, no postage necessary.
We all want to avoid the knock. We don't like getting unexpected knocks at the door. But Marilyn, I have to admit, here in Charleston, self-response rate's not very high. It's about 58%. So we really need people to make sure that they take the time to do that. Why is it important for the government to take a census and for us to all participate?
Right, and that's a key question. What's in it for me? The primary reason we conduct a census is for apportionment, to determine how many seats in Congress each state gets. Well, if every state had their preference, they would want all 435 seats, because that provides the size of the voice they will have. The more seats in Congress, the bigger your voice, the wider the pipeline of resources. Most people don't realize that even in this pandemic, when we're talking about emergency preparedness, emergency management, healthcare, like Medicare, hospitals, clinics, all of those are funded based on population statistics. So that's why you are shaping the future for an entire decade. Education, most people don't realize that. Unemployment benefits. Many people need social services, such as the food stamp program, which is SNAP, or the WIC program. Title I grants for our schools, Pell grants for our college students. There's a baseline in those formulas that are population statistics. And right now, we hear elected officials and community leaders are talking about, we need more resources to fight this pandemic. And the census is how America knows what America needs. So the question to all of us is, will our population numbers support our needs? And they will, if we all participate in the census. And the time to respond is now.
Yeah, and I bet $1 to a donut, most people did not know the information that you just gave, that trillions of dollars over the next decade is tied to participating in the census. I had no idea that you use a census in order to establish where hospitals go and schools and things like that. So if you really want to make your neighborhood a good and vibrant place, you need to participate in the U.S. Census. And it's actually kind of fun. And also, it's important for people to know, this is the last thing I just want to make sure that everybody knows, is that your information is kept private. So when, 75 years down the road, your great-great-granddaughter decides to go on Ancestry.com and look up information, that's when your information will show up, not today.
Right. Someone said, well, when is the last time you released information about the census? I said, believe it or not, in 2012, we released the 1940 census.
There you go.
Because the law had been satisfied. The next census will be the 1950 census. So your information is safe. No one can get it.
Perfect. Marilyn, thank you so much for setting our minds at ease. It was good to talk to you.
And thank you for completing your 2020 questionnaire.
Thank you. All right. It was great to talk to you. We'll, of course, share that information with our viewers. We're back in 2 minutes.